Body, speech, and mind held in perfect oneness. I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow.
Ba nghiệp lắng thanh tịnh, gửi lòng theo tiếng chuông. Nguyện người nghe tỉnh thức, vượt thoát nẻo đau buồn.
May I invite brothers and sisters, find yourself a comfortable posture. Relax your whole body. Relax your shoulders. Relax all your tensions. You can close your eyes and start to follow your breath. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. Breathing out. Breathing in, I feel relaxed. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Good afternoon, my dear brothers, sisters. How was your day so far? Good? Relax? Today is the Saturday, September the 24th, 2016. We're having our monthly mindfulness day. When we have a day like this, we just tell ourselves that a day to relax. And then when you remind yourself this is the day that you relax, automatically you feel the day more free, more relaxed, and there's nothing to be rushed. Sometimes from Monday to Friday, we very hardly to wake up early morning to go to work. We just want to continue to sleep, and we feel that we need more sleep. When it's on Saturday or Sunday, we know that this is the day that we off. We don't go to work. We want to sleep in, but we cannot sleep. We're so awake. Do you have that happen to you sometimes? Any day we go to work and we're so tired. Any day we know that we're home, then we want to sleep, we want to rest, but I don't know, we don't know why. That day we're so fresh, so awake, so strong. Why is that? Just because what you feel and what you name it. Everything depends on your mind. So when you know that this is the day to relax, then there's nothing to rush because you know it's relaxed. But any day that you say that today is a busy day, and then in your mind you so rush and you're frustrated with many things. So actually sometimes the day is the same, hours are the same, but just because sometimes we don't, in our mind, we name it whatever, then it's become what we name and what we think about it. A piece of wood, which is just a piece of wood. But after we curve and into the statue of Buddha or Jesus, and then we respect that statue fully. But actually it's just a piece of wood. Last month we walked by many days, but no attention at all. Nothing respect at all. But when the image of someone we respect appear on that piece of wood, and now we put on our head. So the Buddha said, everything depends on your mind. We cannot live in this life without any desire. As a human, we cannot live without any wanting. We're always wanting something. So we always have an object to meditate on. The same as when we sit down to meditate, people will say, oh, sit down and clear your mind. Clear doesn't mean you throw away everything. No way. We cannot do that. We always have something to think, because we have a thought, we have thinking, then we have the object to think. Like we have the eyes to see, then our eyes always have an object to see. Even when you close your eyes, people ask you, do you see something? No, I didn't see anything, it's only black. Black is your object of what you see. But we always expect that, something as an image, as a form, in order for us to see. But we used to see, I didn't see anything, it's black. Black is what you see. Like a piece of paper, did you see something? No, just a piece of paper. Yeah, a piece of paper is what you see. But we always expect there is something on piece of paper. So we are human. We always have something we want. I want drink. I want to eat. I want to have a fan because I'm too hot. I want a jacket, it's cold. We're always wanting something. But the practice here is when we mindful, then we will choose what to want. There's nothing wrong if we want too much, but we're unable to satisfy it, and then we suffer. So why we happy? Because that satisfies us. Why we happy? Because something we want is satisfied. Something is not satisfy us, we are not happy. So the happy is from where? From us. If I make you happy and you agree with that, you're happy. Even I offer you my food, but the food you didn't like to eat, even the food I offer you, you're still not happy. So I cannot offer you happiness. As long as you agree with that, you're happy. So, something we want is not wrong. But the question for us is that appropriate for us to want that? And what can we afford for that? We want a house. There's nothing wrong. We need a place to stay. And people will say, oh, that's desire. Yes. But this is what reasonable desire. We need a place to stay. But non-reasonable is you want something too much, over your budget, over your financial situation. So you want a house, it's fine. But you must come back to reflect your budget. In Buddhist practice, we call dedicate the merits. When we do something good, we want to share this goodness to many people. But there are different types you need to reflect in order to direct. Let's say you come to visit me. I want to invite you for lunch. That means I direct myself to you. My mind direct to you because I want to invite you for lunch. But I need to go back to myself. That means I need to go back to my kitchen and double check whether I have enough food in order to invite for lunch. So everything we want to do, that means we direct ourselves outside. But do not forget to come back to reflect yourself. He did that wrong. I need to correct him. Yes. Now you need to come back and reflect how to correct. When you judge people, he's wrong. Do you have another solution to help? This is the practice. We don't just say you're wrong, but we don't have any right direction to direct someone. Balance. We all have a desire. Sometimes we want to help someone. That is a desire too. But this is a positive desire. And we also need to know how much we can help. What we can help. When we can help. And who we can help. So if we do not reflect enough, the positive desire can become a negative desire. Because it will turn out a negative result. You have a positive beginning, but it's turned out to a negative, a wrong result. Because we don't know how and when. Let's say if you disagree with your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whoever, but we have visitors. In that moment, we cannot explode. We need to wait until everybody go home, just between me us and that person, and we can tell. 5 minutes ago, when that person here, you did that wrong, or it's not nice to do those. So we all have something we want in our daily life. And sometimes we misunderstanding. When we heard the word desire, we always have thinking negative. When we heard the word desire, we're always thinking about, oh, that's bad. Like the word karma, karma in Buddhist. Karma means something we do it over and over many times and we get used to it. And that's become the karma. But most people, they think karma means negative. But actually no, karma doesn't have any positive or negative. Itself, it means something we get used to it. But maybe positive karma, negative karma. Like I like to go to Friday session. This is a karma, but it's good karma. I like to go to the bar every day after work. This is also a karma. If you don't go, it's kind of you miss it. This is a bad karma, a black karma, or white karma. So sometimes we have something to addict. But if that addicted bring you happiness, or you can bring something to someone. Let's say I have a desire to share with you the practice. But beside that, I have no expectation about my desire. Oh, I cannot give a talk until you have 20 people. Only 5 or 6, let's go home or dismiss. You never done what you want. If this happens to you all the time, and then you always expect to be a number of people that you want to help, then you never done anything at all, because you cannot if you cannot begin with a small number, then how can you have a larger number? Do you see what I mean by that? We have a desire, but we should, stick to that. Let's say today, early morning we have 20 people. Wow. And then after lunch, only 5, 6 left. And I cannot come out and then, okay, because you are not too many, so we can go home. Then for all the life, we cannot benefit and done anything. If you already make that become a day, then stick with that. It's positive desire. But you accept what it is. You balance it. Early morning, you're very okay. Late afternoon, you're not okay because of the number. The number of the people, change your mind. Then in this life, many things can change you. Maybe the weather, the environment, whatever. Or even just one word of someone. You say, Thầy, your English is poor and don't ever go and give a talk. Then I may change my mind. I will withdraw from what I'm doing. Do you see what I mean by that? So make sure we have the light of mindfulness to shine. I want to do my garden on this Saturday. And then you prepare everything, and then the neighbor just come and say, your garden is not nice. And we put everything away. We don't know what we want. Just a word of a person can move us away from what we want. Then, for the whole life, we cannot success on anything we plan. So when we have a vow, why we vow? Because we realize why we need that. Then never refuse. You know, sometimes I travel, and some of my public talk, 2,000 people. Some of my public talk, only 6 or 10. Big difference. But I still talk the same. Because I know my desire is to talk. These 6 people desire to listen. Why I need to focus to the number of people who are not desire and cut off my desire? You use the non-desire people, cut off your desire. That's not fair. So we have a very famous and very well-respected monk in Vietnam. He passed away when he only 50-something. But during his monastic life, he never wasted even a day. He wrote books. He opened, classes to teach. At the wartime in Vietnam, a lot of children cannot go to school. He go back to the countryside to open school to teach Vietnamese, to teach language. Sometimes only one show up. He still sit with that student and teach. Why? Because he has a desire to teach. This one person has a desire to learn. The others, they don't have that need. Then why we have to take the one who do not need us and push the one who need us away? Do you see what I mean by that? So this is the practice. So Buddhism is not philosophy. I mentioned last night. When you able to learn and practice, and you can touch the heart of Buddhism, you can meet Buddhism every corner of the universe. Buddhism everywhere, even at the bus station. When you fold a blanket every morning, when you drive, when you cook, when you rake your leaves in the autumn, everything can be Dharma. Because they are the objects for you to meditate on. So when we sit down and meditate, something arises in our mind. Even good or bad. In that moment, they are not the object for us to take in that moment. The object that we should take in that moment is our breath. So we do have an object to take care. At the moment we meditate is follow our breath. Because we want to working with that. We used to forget our breath. But when we stop breathing, everything will be stopped. So what is the most valuable? Money, diamonds, position, fame? No. I have a letter from a young lady from France. She didn't know how to use email. She does not use internet. She just wrote me a hand letter. And she said, Thầy, in the past 5 years, your lecture nurtured me, even though we never met. But I can see you every day on YouTube, and you give me a lot of energy to live. One day I have a big accident, and while I got into the accident, I thought my life is ended. When I opened my eyes, I'm so happy because I know that I'm still alive. And since that moment, I realize and understand what is called impermanent. I really experienced the word impermanent. I heard the words but I never experienced deeply about that. And I can experience what is called life is fragile. Life is fragile, very breakable. And what happened? She said, since that day, I know that I have a new life. We have two kinds of death. One day we stop breathing, and that's we call totally death. We done our lifetime. But there is another death that we should practice. We should die, we should death all the negatives. Something, is very bad. Now we change. So let's say 20 years ago, I'm very bad. Now I changed myself. So people come and ask me, are you Phap Hoa in the past 20 years? Yes, Phap Hoa in the past 20 years died. This is a new Phap Hoa. So I know there is an author who wrote book. But when he wrote book, without practice, just only philosophy. After 20 years, he practiced. People met him, they can recognize he is the author of that book. And people ask him, are you the author of that book? He said, oh, the author of that book already died. This is the new author. Sometimes people write a book just because they share what they learn. Lot of knowledge, lot of philosophy, but nothing comes from their own experience of living, of practice. So what is the best talk and what is the good talk? You talk from your heart. You talk from your experience, not from books. Because people still can read from books. But what they come to see the real experience. If we do not practice, we don't never experience about that. So when we have something we want, do not expect how it turned out, but you accept how it was. And that's, you balance yourself right away. Let's say the same as I just mentioned about today. When we see a lot of people, oh, we're so exciting. And we thought we will give a talk. And then when I step out, only 5 left. I collapse. And I cannot continue my desire. But these 5 are who desire to listen. And match with you because you are the one who desire to talk. In this life, you will meet this kind of thing a lot. At work, at school, with relationship, many things. Last night, there was a young lady who called the Thầy. I need your help. Before I meet this person, I so respect and, I so honor. And in my heart, I raise him to the very high degree. But when I met him, I'm totally collapsed. Not even something that I expected. So I deeply suffer. How can I overcome? I said, why don't you think this is a lecture for yourself? Do not, have any perception on anything. Let's say you come to the temple, you see the Buddha like this. And in your mind, you expect the Buddha will look like something like this. Maybe one day you meet the Buddha in Cambodia or in India. Now real Buddha, no, you are not the Buddha that I supposed to see. This is the Buddha with your image. We never know. And do not expect the Buddha have to be in one particular form. The Buddha can manifest in many other forms. There was a man who fell down in the water, almost died. And in that minute he said, Buddha, please help me. Buddha, please help me. I'm too young. I still want to live, to do a lot of good things. There was a canoe come and stop by him and say, come, I help you. No, I'm waiting for the Buddha. He refused the help. And then that canoe have to go, and then he continued to cry and pray for the Buddha to help. Another boat come with more people, more bigger boat. Let us help me. They throw the another boat, with life-saving saver. No, I'm waiting for the Buddha. Don't. I'm waiting for the Buddha. Why? Because he expects the Buddha is something he walk and grab the rope, but he never know. Buddha can be in many forms. You asking for help, then no matter whoever can help you. Why you need to wait for the Buddha? And you don't you know Buddha can manifest in many forms? So when you want to help people, you don't have to wait until you have a lot of money to help. You can help with many ways. Maybe the words to encourage a person. You support that person spiritually, many ways. If you have the intent to help, then a lot of things can be helped. Not only money, as long as we have the intent. Negative means, when something we want that never benefit us, never benefit others, never benefit both. And sometimes it's come back to damage us, damage the others. So remember, when you meditate, anything you see, they are perceptions. And anything related to perceptions is a wrong perceptions. Because you should not see anything while you follow your breath. Let's say if you see the Buddha, then you have to remember this is temporary. It's a nice image, but not real. When you see Mara, it's an ugly image, but it's also not real. When you like to see the Buddha, that means you're afraid to see the Mara. When you like the Buddha and you're too exciting, it's unbalanced. When you see the Mara, you're so afraid, it's also not good. So keep your mind in neutral. Just follow your breath continually and drowning yourself in the present moment. Recognize every single breath you breathe in and out, nothing else. And then if one day you have a problem with your son or your daughter or someone you like, you love, or with your colleague at work, and that situation, that person can become an object for you to meditate on. Why that person angry with me today? You can start from 1 to 12. And you realize the main dot right there. I know why now. Because I did not say it's nice enough. That's why that person get angry. And people will judge. If you are thinking too much during meditation, and that is not called meditation anymore, that's not real. That's not true. Meditate means when you have a problem, you meditate and focus around that situation in order to find the way to help. Meditation doesn't mean you vanish everything. You clear your mind. But you know what you are thinking and what is the really thing that you need to focus on now. So if you see something and you forget the others, it's not meditate enough. So before I come up here, I have a group of visitors from Calgary. And I know that I have to come here with the group. But if I see the new visitors and I totally forgot you here, that means I confuse my meditation. So I balance. I see them for a while and I know I have another thing to do. So things come one by, you solve it. You solve the problem one by one. It's meditation. There was a young friend who come to see a teacher, a monk. Master, it's very hard to practice. I have a few problems that prevent me. And the monk asked, what is your problem? He said, oh, I still have a lot of anger. I still have, sometimes I am jealous. And the master said, let's suppose when you go to do your math, your exam, what do you want to do first? He said, I will choose all the easy one first. I will work with all the easy one first before I do the hard one. And he said, okay, same thing. Practice whatever you have problem now. Don't think about when you become the Buddha. When you can overcome all your obstacles. Just whatever happens, like when you greed, when you hate, when you're angry, work with that. Those are all the easy problems that you need to solve first. So, do not misunderstanding about meditation. To sit and clear the mind. We always have something to focus on. But if any day there's nothing, your breath. If any problem comes, focus on that. Meditate on that. Even you don't need in the cross-legs position. You can sit on a chair with a piece of paper. Now I have 2 jobs to choose. So if I take this morning job, what is the advantage? If I take this evening job, what is the advantage and the disadvantage? Oh, I gain lots of money from the night shift, but I have no time with my kids. I have little bit money, less money in the morning job, but I still have time for my kids. And you will see between money and your kids, which one is more important? If we don't have, the kids will turn to teenager, adult, and they slowly depart from us. So one day, if they totally depart from us, money cannot do anything. So I rather to have the morning job because it's less money, but I have time with my children. Money can bring anything if, I have no enough time for my children. Meditation. When we're able to have a mindfulness, and this mindfulness is like this insight is like a Buddha. So your question is, what is the Buddha? Buddha is when you're able to be mindful on every single thing, even negative or positive. the Buddha always there to help you to see clearly. This is negative, how I can overcome. This is positive, how I can continue but no attachment. Remember, when you have lot of, positive situations, and I'm so happy you're so successful, but still do not attach to those, because life can be changed. But if you expect to be something to be like this forever, then you will be angry when it's not what you expect. So when you're in a happy time, just take it. But no expectation how long it can take. Lot of couple, they break up during the meal. They have a very happy meal together, but maybe one argument, two arguments. Okay, I don't think we fit. So things can happen. So that's why when we do, in the Buddhist practice, we used to join the palm like this. And we do prostrations. This is the way to help you to touch the earth, and to open your heart widely. And you see, you will realize that you are one with the earth. We cannot live without the earth. We cannot live without the sky, because the sky gives us sunshine, rain. The earth gives us a lot of growing. So in our body we have earth and sky, because the vegetables we eat, everything we eat comes from earth and sky. So we are one with earth and sky. We have a book called Touching the Earth. And you can buy this book, you can have this book and practice maybe one paragraph each day. Very meaningful and very powerful and very practical. We talk to the Buddha. Dear Buddha, in the past, I have done a lot of wrong things. From the way I think, from the way I speak, from the way I act. I have damaged my life for many years. Now I have realized I live a life without beneficial for anyone, even myself, something like that. If you don't have the book, you can create on your own, related to your problem. For example, if this morning you get angry and you have say something very wrong, and that you hurt a lot of people around you, later on at night you realize it wrong. Now you can practicing touching the earth. You can speak up what really happened to you in this morning. Dear Buddha, Lord Buddha, I know you have mentioned this many times. Control your flame. Control your anger. I try, but I still cannot do it. And I know in this moment, I am the one who loses everything. Not money, not position, not the fame, but I lose for myself. I lose for my anger, because the anger becomes very powerful. So we are not the enemy of anyone, and no one is our enemy. The three poisons: hate, greed, ignorance. They are the one who suffer. The nature of hate already in us. The nature of greed already in us. The nature of of ignorance already in us. But accidentally we just water those every day. We are not mindful enough to realize which one we should water more. Like understanding, forgiving, calmness, freshness. We do have those too. But just because we don't know how to water them. There was a man who came to Thay, to me last night and said, Thầy, thank you for your talk last night. Your talk touched directly to my problem in the past few days. Because last night I shared with them about the story the Buddha said to a young people. They're wandering, they're running around and looking for a young lady who took their stuff. And the Buddha practicing meditation in the same park as they went for picnic. So they came to the Buddha and they said, Lord Buddha, did you see a young lady who just ran away, just passed by here? And the Buddha said, let me have a question for you. Running around and looking for that lady, is that more important than you are looking for yourself? Maybe you have lost yourself for many days and you never know. You know what is the most suffering? When we lose ourselves. Because when we lose ourselves, then we don't know who we are. We can do many things wrong. We can do many things that suffer us. We can have lots of wrong desires. Because when we lose ourselves, we lose everything. So looking for something and looking for someone is, it's okay. But first, let's looking for ourselves first. When we look at the mirror, what's the mirror help? The mirror helps us to see ourselves. Because we want a clean face. Because we want to look nice. And the job of the mirror is help us to reflect ourselves. So we all need a mirror. We all need time to reflect ourselves. And what we call meditation. Because no calmness, no reflecting. We cannot see ourselves if the water so vibrates. Unless the water stay calm and still, we can see ourselves. The pond of water is like our mind. If this mind unable to stay calm and stillness, cannot see anything, cannot reflect anything. And if we look at everything vibrates. So if the mind is clear like the water, even the moon up there or the sun up there, they can still reflect beautifully. The moon or the sun is something from outside. We can tell the sun beautiful or not depends on the water still or not. If the sun and the moon are always like that, then it depends on here. The water still or water vibrate. So when you're practicing touching the earth, you don't need to prostrate a lot. Maybe 3 is good enough. But before you touch, you bow yourself down and leave yourself totally on the ground like that. We express what's happening. This is the way to release. Some people, they talk to themselves every day because they live alone. Some people, they have what we call depressed. They feel very heavy Because there are so many things they bring in, but they cannot let it out. It's like they take a lot of food in, but the food not digest. And their stomach feel very uncomfortable. So touching the earth is like a time for you to release everything from outside, from inside. It helps you to speak up and to put everything down. It's like when you something you don't like, you just throw it on the ground. Even clean or not clean. Even good or bad. Even hot or cold, just throw it like that. And before we bring it out, we can name it. This is my negatives. I have gained it since last month. When I have an argument with my loved one, and I save it here for 1 month already. And I experience, really, it's not comfortable at all for me to carry this. Now my practicing is to release it. And I can realize how light and how beautiful when I'm able to let it go. Let's suppose this is the jar of candies. Small. When you have a free hand, you put down easily. You try to grab some candy. You do like this and your hand is bigger. You cannot take your hand out from the jar. And you just keep it like this. So what happened to your hand? Abnormal. Because you cannot have the candy, but your hand stick in here. So what is your math now? You want to release the candy to have a free hand? Or you don't want to release the candy, just keep the candy like this and your hand are not free, but you still have no candy. The practicing is here, I have to accept one thing. I'd rather not to have the candies. But I have a free hand to do something else. Something you still cannot hold, but you still cannot eat. Then why you have to stuck yourself like that? Did you see the image? Very smart. So then you can release the candies and find another solution. I cannot do my hand, I can use a chopstick. I can use a chopstick, I can lift it up and put it down. Life never have the ending. Nothing come to the end. When the water, come to the foot of the wall, they split. If one day you go to the mountain, the solid mountain like this, and the cloud floating, when they touch to the tip of the mountain, they split into two pieces. So even the problem is solid like the mountain. But if you are the cloud, you know how to divide yourself, to make yourself better. I like the food so much, but I'm too full, I cannot take them all. You can take a little, and then if you have, you are sick, you cannot take too much calorie at once. Then you can divide your meal. Not a problem. You are not feeling well, you should know how to adjust all your meal, your medications, in order to help yourself to be balanced, your health to be balanced. We have lots of unhealth conditions, not physically, mentally. Then we know how to adjust. If you put your hand into the jar to get candies, you can now release it, find another way. I cannot solve it like that, but I can solve it another way. Once you have Buddhism, you have the solutions. Because Buddhism means the way of life. The teachings of the Buddha is the path. You cannot drive on the freeway, don't worry, drive in local. You still get your destination. Is that help you a little bit for today? Thank you for your questions. And the question is, what is the main Buddha? Not Shakyamuni, not Amitabha Buddha. The main Buddha is your mindfulness. When you have mindfulness, even in the negative or positive, you can live fine. You can adapt yourself with all different situations. This is the main Buddha we need. Even Shakyamuni Buddha, the Prince Siddhartha, according to the Buddhist history, he is the founder, but he's still a human. He's no longer with us. Any particular Buddha, they still have the limits of their lifetime. But the lifetime of mindfulness is unlimited. A day we live, a day we have mindfulness. So take this main Buddha with you all day long, all month long, and all year long. Thank you for your listening. Please massage your feet.